Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, we're about to have us a delicious lunch. We have some fried fish, whitey, baked potato, actually sweet potato, made with cinnamon, brown sugar, and honey, of course, and garlic rice. Saucepan may still be a little hot. Green beans and onions. Yes, we're about to bang it out. Yes, so I hope that you're extra relaxed and calm, and I even hope that you get tingles, or maybe if you're just using it for sleep, adios, because you're about to go to sleep. Okay, fish looks so good. Pretty crunchy. I use white cornmeal with some fish meal. Mix it together with some eggs so I can get the crunchiness. Make sure I get plenty of onions, because I love onions. Now, I got some dipping sauce. It's called Wowee or Woo-wee or something. I think it's Wowee or something. That's some hot sauce. The plastic is so thin on it. The workers are gonna get a little loud here and there. Oh. I bought a huge bag of fish. It's like $10, but I think I cooked half of it. My daughter just called me. She said, Mom, I was so surprised that you cooked me a really good meal today. I said, wow. I don't know, I wasn't expecting it. I usually get something like that for dinner. I said, well, you deserve to have a good meal this afternoon. Sweet potato. This is good. son, he didn't come home today for lunch. But he's gonna be happy to see it for dinner. I got red onions. Oh, I didn't even say hashtag Friday, hashtag TGIF, hashtag Friday feeling. Someone said to me, Spirit, every time I watch you eat, you make me hungry. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be about this. So like if you don't want to feel hungry or get hungry, don't watch. Just listen. I don't know. If I was listening, I'd be ready to eat me some chips or something. Do you think it's hard for you? I'll tell you when I'm trying to edit. Oh my God. It be killing me when I ain't got no more. receipt. She gonna tell me they ain't allowed to sign nothing or get your receipt. As long as you got proof that you paid and the camera show that you came in on time. All you could do is drop your rent in the box. I said, that's why there's a lot of dishonesty going up in here. People ranking and taking because you ain't got no honest system. Is it honor system or honest system? press later, heat it up. Watch me a good movie. Man, I feel good now. That's what I needed. I needed a good meal. This stuff got a little kick to it. I could tell because my tongue is burning. And, it might be some of the hot sauce too. And it's cold outside. It's like a damp cold. And it looked like it's drizzling, but you can barely see it. But it looks sad out there. It's the kind of weather you just want to go to bed and not leave the house. I watched a movie last night, and it was after I was up for a long time because spirit was dealing with some pain last night. But I watched this movie called The Impossible. It was so freaking good. It was so good. It had me like shocked, surprised, and crying and laughing, but the type of laughing, it was like not a funny laugh, like a happy joy laugh. No. And this movie was about this family. They went on vacation and it had a lot of good messages in it. She had 3 sons, this woman, and her husband. Her husband was always on his cell phone. No matter what, it confined him, took all his time and everything. Even on vacation, he was on that cell phone. They lived in Japan, but they was going to, I forgot the island, some island, I think it was Thai something, Thailand. Remember. Then she had one son who was the baby, and she had a son next to him. He was 7.5 years old, but he was always afraid of everything. And his big brother, I think was about 11, was always mean to him. While they was on vacation, a tsunami came. And that tsunami took everything and everybody out. It was terrible. It scared me to death. And the mother, she got hurt inside the water. When the tsunami hit her, it threw her into a glass. They were underwater for a long time. So many people died. And the mom got separated from her family. It was so sad. And she never saw the husband and the 2 little boys. He was holding them. When the tsunami came, they was in the pool. And the oldest boy, he's being swept away. Somehow, I don't know, the oldest boy and the mom saw each other. And they was together, and the father and 2 little boys, they end up being alive in the picture, but they was together. But the father was so distraught and she was trying to catch her older son before he was swept away. They finally caught each other. And while they was looking for safety, they heard this scream. Somebody calling out. But it sounded like a baby. And the little boy was like, Mom, we need to get inside the tree before the second wave comes. And the mom was like, no, listen, you hear that? It was like, no, Mom, we can't help nobody. We gotta save ourselves. And she looked like she was in agony and so much pain and losing so much blood. And she grabbed her son's hand. Sorry, that's it. My camera died, but I'm gonna keep talking to you just for a minute. She grabbed her son's hand and she said, if this is the last thing we ever do, we gotta go back for him. So she went back, and her son found the little boy. He was pinned on looked like a rock with some wood and everything covering him. A little boy about 2 or 3 years old. And they saved him. They put him in a tree with them. This little boy was so sweet. He was rubbing the lady's hands and her arms, like just giving her compassion, because he could see that she was in so much pain, because it took her forever to get in the tree. She had to stand on this little boy's shoulder to get up in the tree. He was only like 10 or 11, like I said. And he was holding on to a branch. And while his mother stand on his back, his back was facing the tree. And he was lifting his mom butt in one of his hands. And when he finally got her where she could stand on his shoulder, she was so happy. When he squeezed on the branch, his fingertips started to bleed, all of them. But he stepped fast until his mother got inside the tree. And after the storm had passed, these people came from some village and saw them, thought they was trying to help her. And they dragged her because they couldn't lift her. And she was screaming and crying in agony. Oh my God, she was in so much pain. And they drug her for a long time until they can get her to the village. And when they got her to the village, they put her on like a door and then put the door on a truck and took her to the hospital with her son. And she basically was dying. She couldn't breathe. They said they gave her surgery on her chest, but she was too weak to have surgery on her leg. And because she's a doctor, she kept out telling her son to check her leg, make sure it don't turn black. And the doctor told the son that she was too weak for the surgery. They gotta wait till she's stronger, but they gotta do the surgery right away. And she was like really, it seemed like she was about to pass any minute. So then with the father, he let his 2 boys go with this group of people to a mountain to safety while he looked for them. He couldn't find them nowhere. And he saw somebody with a phone. He asked them could he use the phone. And they was like, no, we need our phone. We don't have that much battery. And he just looked so shocked because he really, really wanted to use their phone. And then he found this group that was looking for their family too. And they was all sitting around. And he looked so sad and so pitiful and so hurt that the man let him use his phone. This was a new stranger. Used the phone and he called home, I guess called her mom or somebody to let them know that he lost them. He can't find the mom and the older son. And he broke down. He broke down in agony as if they were already dead. His whole body cried. And then when his whole body cried, I started to cry. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't even stop crying. He hung up and then man, the group gave him back the phone, said no, you can't end it like that. Called him back and talked to them. So he called them back and said, you know what, I'm gonna do everything I can to find them, I promise. And then that for some reason they're calling him back and telling them that he had hope, gave him the strength to go on, you know. And he went to hospital, could not find his son and his wife. He finally went to the last hospital hospital. And while he was surgery at the hospital, they told him that they was only going to wait for him for like 5 minutes, but they was going to the mountains for safety. And he went looking for them. And the son, he was sitting there with his mom because, you know, basically it looked like she was dying. And while she was laying on the bed, I didn't even tell y'all this part, but when they had saved them and from the tree, they left the little boy, which his name was Daniel, behind. And they don't know what happened to him, but while the son was sitting in the hospital, he saw this little boy running around and so happy, jumping in this man's arms. His eyes like to pop out of his head because the mom was so worried about Daniel. She kept saying, what happened to him? We gotta go back for him. We gotta go back for him. But the son saw him, and then when he followed him, he noticed that Daniel looked like he was with his dad. And it was this look of reward. It was just like a, I wish I could explain it. But it was a reward that came over the little boy's face when he realized that going back saving him and he got a chance to be back with his family. It was just breathtaking for him, and he understood. And his mom said, no matter what, you gotta help in every situation. You gotta do something. You gotta do what's right, you know. And then Daniel, while his father was carrying him out of the hospital, he laid his head on his father's shoulder and he looked up at the boy and he smiled. It was so sweet. He smiled, I guess, to say thank you. You know, it was so sweet. Oh my God, that movie had me in freaking tears. It still got me in tears because it was so sweet. And then the little boy went back to the room to talk to the mom, and when he got there, the mom wasn't there. They had took her bed and put somebody else in it, and then they put him in this place where it was a whole bunch of other kids who lost their family, and they was talking to him as if he had no more family and trying to figure out where he from, where he lived. And they couldn't tell him anything about his mom. His mom was gone. So at that moment, he started to feel grief and realized he just lost his mom. And he was so like devastated. But later on, dad came and got him and took him to his mom. They didn't know that his mom had went into surgery because they didn't tell him that. It was just like she died and they took her bed. But she was real weak, and it was like she was not gonna live long when he found her. And they went to go get her some water. And when he went to go get her some water, he saw the back of his dad's legs. I think his dad had a tattoo walking past, but it was kind of distance away. And when he saw that, he started running, calling him, but his dad didn't hear him. And the two little boys that was with this group going to the mountain, but what happened was they end up, the little boy had to pee, had to use the bathroom, and he got off the truck, and the truck was going to leave him, and they had somehow or another made a stop, but the little boy had to pee real bad, and where they stopped at, while the little boy was looking for his dad, calling his dad, he said, Dad, and the little boys heard him, and it was like, calling his name, and he looked and saw his two brothers. He was in complete shock, and his two little brothers started running to him. It was so, oh my God, it was so overwhelming for me. It was just a tearjerker. Oh my God. And then while they were on the ground hugging and kissing and telling each other they love him, they look up, the dad was standing there. It was so freaking crazy. And the dad had walked all through the hospital looking for his wife and his son. He had came to this point where it was this big curtain, all you could see is shadows, and he had stopped, and I thought he was going to pull the curtain and see that he found his wife, but he didn't. And the wife, even though she was real weak, she turned her head and looked at the curtain. Her eyes got big because she knew it was him. go home, they're going to be completely different people. They're going to be humble and they're going to appreciate and they're going to really live because they got to experience almost dying and losing one another. They got to experience that hands on. And I was like, wow, like, what would you do if your whole life suddenly was about to change for the worse and somehow another miracle worked out for you and now you got a second chance? How would you live? How would you live? See you in my next video.